Welcome to the X Room podcast. My name is Maylee Nelson.
Sean Finnegan.
And today we're actually at the X Room and we're going to have hundreds of people here shortly. And we get to hear from Ben Kjar. Oh my gosh, I'm just dying right now, geeking out because I'm a huge fan. I've seen your movie. I've actually been following you for a really long time. So I'm a real estate investor and well, you changed my life, just so you know, a long, long time ago. So very grateful for you to be here. We're going to dive into the story of why you did this in the movie, why you became who you've become, and the message that you're trying to change the world with.
And I'd say up front, if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's one of the greatest films ever made.
Absolutely. Not a dry eye in the house.
I don't think I've ever watched a film where I'm like, I have a lump in my throat, like the most of it. You generally, in a good film, you like watch this little piece and you get a lump in your throat. Like the whole time, I was just like so moved by what you've done. Yeah. And I loved how you didn't skip the hard things and you talked about all the hardest, vulnerable stuff in the film. So you have to stop what you're doing, go watch the film. I
will say somebody told me something and I would love to ask. So the part where, you know, the kid was being told these horrific things, you actually made it so that he wasn't actually in the room. Is that true? Because you didn't want him to feel the things that you actually went through. Yeah. You didn't want this child to actually feel those things that you went through.
Yeah.
That's
100%. First of all, thanks for having me, guys. You guys are legends, and I just really appreciate you. And yeah, you're exactly right. Knowing that, and that was a contingency of mine, talking with the producers. Shout out to Tanner Christensen. First time he's directed the film. Wow. We're still like, can you imagine being the first time director and have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics? 99% audience, you know, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And TC Christensen, who's a legend in the space, and then Jared Hess is a producer. I mean, come on, Nacho Libre, Napoleon Dynamite, Minecraft movie. I just am so lucky. And that's the definition of my life. People in my corner that are supporting me. And I wanted to be that to the little boy. His name's Colton. Okay. And we searched all over the world to find a boy that would look like me, act like me, and he wasn't an actor. The Fieldings, Colton Fielding, shout out to his parents, Annalie and Jordan, incredible humans. But when we were putting these parts out there to the world, which you said, like we told the hard stuff. Why? That's real. In today's society, you read between the lines of what isn't genuine and what isn't real. People are craving for raw, real, and just like relevant information. So in these moments where he would just get annihilated verbally, we put him in a soundproof room, and then we said the real stuff that was said in those moments. And then when he would come out, and then they would have to do the interfacing, the bully would say like chicken nuggets, and the kid just laughed. And it was that moment that when we put it all together in filming that told the real story. And that's why people's lives are changed. I had a lady reach out to me yesterday. We've been in theaters almost 4 weeks. This lady's seen it in theaters 10 times.
I believe it.
10 times.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I can
and
see
it's
why.
just crazy.
I've taken my whole team. I've like, yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. Thank you.
And it was a packed house, the event I went to, the movie, and so it's doing well. Yeah. Despite all the kind of maybe the bad news stuff out there and the scary kind of films, everything else, this is like the best feel-good thing. If you want to be inspired, go watch this film. Why do you think it's doing well? Because generally good news doesn't travel fast. It's harder to compete against like the negative stuff.
Sure. People have left saying, I got a message last night. I'll give you an example of this. I got a message last night and he said, that movie absolutely impacted me. It made me feel like no movie has ever made me feel before. I think now, today, people want to feel again. Why? Because when you feel like you're alive again. We're allowing people to dream again. We're allowing people to live, even though they feel like they can't in their current circumstance. No different than what happened in the movie. In life, in my movie, in my life, there were times I didn't want to live. I thought Crouzon syndrome, which is what I was born with, was a curse. Come on. When you realize that you go from victim to victor mindset and you realize the bad stuff can be the good stuff, can be the thing that actually sets you apart, can be your X factor, come on. That's what makes you stand out. Exactly. That's what makes you stand out. That would make... And when you realize that God created you not to fit in, when you realize God didn't create you to put your light behind a bushel, when you realize God created you to be a lighthouse among a crazy storm of water, to point people in the right direction, that's a good thing.
Can you talk about the initials that you, for like several months or even years, you would put certain initials next to your name? Talk about that piece.
Yeah. So in high school, I was trying to figure out who I was, junior high, being a person who totally looks different, being made fun of, not sure who I was yet, wishing I was Tom, Billy, and Tom version 2.0, because if I just looked like them, act like them, man, if I just smelled like them, life would be better. But when I found out that I was created to be me, Ben Kjar, that was when it changed. So I started calling my shot on my Letterman's jacket. When I got into high school, I put 3XSC. That stood for 3-time state champion. Nobody had ever done that in my high school before. Oh, way prior to, years before.
I called
my shot, baby. I did the Babe Ruth. I pointed to the stands. I hit the grand slam, home run, whatever. And I did it way before. You will find out who's in your corner when you call your shot. Mm-hmm. You'll find out who's not in your corner when you call your shot. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, even when I would sign my initials on my bout sheets, I would put Ben Kjar 3XSC because I believed in it. If you want to achieve something in life, you can't dream quiet. Mm-hmm. You can't dream quiet because you can't do it alone. Mm. And when other people know that you're going after something big,
push you.
They'll help you out.
They'll push you. Yes.
Yep. Because it was a close call to not hit the 3X.
Mm. Well, I lost.
Yeah.
I lost in region.
Talk to us. How'd you get through? How did that belief really power you through during the moments where you were up against the odds in some of those situations?
Yeah, my junior year, I lost in region. First time I lost in the state of Utah. I went up a weight for the team. And you just don't do that in wrestling very much. You want to be the biggest in your weight. I was weighing in at the lower weight and the higher weight. And I lost against a guy I'd beat. I remember going in state. And but the previous time before region and state, there were times, and this is what sets me apart. I decide to what I call disobey average. What do I mean by that? In the moments where everybody will just do the average, my coach tells me to do 20 push-ups, you don't do 20. If you want to fit in, that's cute, do 20. If you want to get on the podium, great, do 20. If you want to be a gold medalist, if you want to set yourself apart, you don't obey average. You go above and beyond. Mm. So during the assemblies, during the times that I should have been in other places, I didn't obey that. I was in the wrestling room. And you know what was cool? Is the people who I call my shot callers, who helped me call my shot, were also in the room with me. For an example, my principal, who was running the assembly, wasn't in the assembly. He was in the wrestling room with me. And because I locked in, because my losses became my greatest wins. Mm-hmm. That's important for people to know. Your losses are truly your greatest wins, and that's what helps you catapult to the next level. Mm. That's what set me aside, and I decided in those moments that I would win, and I won mentally before I even stepped on the mat.
Mm. Yeah, and you have to, right? Like you have to see it, you have to feel it, you have to taste it, you have to really become 100%. It before it ever happened. And I love that that's most athletes. Obviously, the Olympics just happened, and you hear their stories, and it's like hearing the blood. You became the winner way before, like long before, right? Like,
well, we're fearful. Gosh. I mean, the reason why we go to Halloween, like haunted houses, is because they're all surprises, and that's what scares us. The things that don't scare us are the things that we've seen and we're prepared for. You nailed it. Meditation, these moments of focus, of locking in, creates these moments that we've never actually physically experienced become reality. Mm. There's been tests done of people that have stood on the free throw line in basketball and visualized shooting the shot, and they scored just as good as people that actually shot the shot in practice. When you do that way beforehand, you know what it smells like, feels like, tastes like, all of that sounds like. You'll have experienced you going into the state finals, winning the bid of a whatever competition, whatever it is that you go into. When you envision it so many times that it becomes second nature to you, it's not scary. Yeah, you're prepared.
You did it already. You're there.
One of my favorite quotes is Roy Disney said that when your priorities are clear, decision making's easy. Mm. And I think your priority was so clear, and your belief was so strong, your conviction was so high, that when it came to midnight and you're like, I don't feel like running wind sprints in my street. You said, hey, my priority is clear. I have this massive goal at 3X.
Yep.
I'm going to go at midnight and run in the street to make sure my cardio is where it needs to be. That's an easy decision at that point, right?
I remember dry heaving 3 times that night. I didn't want to do that. That's not what I did. But guess what? I knew the next week when I stood on the weight scale and I looked down the line, I knew I had to answer to myself, nobody else did this. Nobody else was willing to disobey the average and go and do something that I didn't want to do in the exact moment I didn't want to do it. When you can answer yes to that, saying yes, I showed up, and no, I didn't do this and that, that's when you set yourself apart. It's not just the extra push-ups, it's the mentality that gets you there. So when you can set yourself apart mentally and then physically, you're freaking dangerous, man.
Ooh, so good. People are like, really, right? You're running all these businesses, you do all these things. And I always just say, I don't go to bed until I can say to myself that I did everything that I possibly could to do the thing that I'm doing, like to accomplish the thing that I'm doing. And that's a rare, people just go to bed and they're like, oh yeah, it's fine, I'll handle it tomorrow. I can't. Like I am absolutely like, no, these things have to be done. And I will not go to bed, or I will not sacrifice the things that you want. And people just, they think you're crazy for those things. How do we light people up? How do we help them realize that they don't have a passion then? That if they're not lit up and they're not staying awake, running at 2 a.m, if they're not doing those things, then that means that they don't have something that they're truly meant to be doing. Like, how do you wake them up?
So good. There was an interview that was done. DJ Khaled was right across the way. You guys know DJ Khaled. He's sitting in his chair, and he takes over the interview. And he's going to answer your question. He takes over the interview. He's like, "Can I have you ask me this question?" You know, DJ. And she's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Ask me if I'm crazy. You had mentioned they think you're crazy." Yeah. And she's like, "DJ Khaled, are you crazy?" He's like, "Absolutely, I am." When you can realize that being obsessed, being different, standing outside of what is normal, and being crazy is absolutely a gift, that's when it's fun.
We're the lucky ones.
You're the lucky ones, but you have to set yourself aside. You have to be misunderstood. So do the things that are crazy. Do the things that are outlandish, because then people will look at you and they'll be intrigued. The people that I am drawn to in this life, we talked about this the other night when we were hanging out.
Yep.
We talked about who are the intriguing people in life. That's what's fun for me in this life. Finding the people who intrigue me. They're not the white sheep.
Yeah.
They're the black sheep. Yeah. They're the ones who are a little bit different. And when you know you're different, that's when it's fun.
But how do you get them to feel that? How do you get people, because people are just walking around white sheep. They're just ants.
Sure.
And they're just...
I did that though. That's when you realize that you're not meant to be anybody else's shadow. When you realize that you're not meant to be anybody else's version 2.0. Because that's the problem. When we fit in the line of what is robots, when you fit in the line of dressing like everyone and being like everyone and acting like everyone, boring.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I did that half of my life.
Sure.
I'm like, walk like this person, act like this person, so I don't stand out.
Yeah.
But what if it's, and I'm not saying stand out and get the attention like a lot of the quote unquote influencers nowadays. Be genuinely you. Be like authentically you. And people will see through it if you're not.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I've done that. I've tried to be somebody else.
Human nature, we've all done something.
Yeah,
like
100%. But when you own, figure out, you said it, find clarity, number one, in who you are. And when there's clarity, you have decisions on what to say yes and no to.
Yep.
So find out who you are first and foremost. Find out what that is. What do you like? What do you dislike? What do you find like you're comfortable in your own skin? Then go all in on you. I don't think people invest enough in what they are. And I think that's why we're here today, right?
Yes, 100%.
This group, that what you guys are doing, it's allowing people to invest in them. It's allowing people to focus on who they are and then add value to themselves and others.
So I was able to spend time with Ben. We went to a hockey game. And what I noticed and I love most about you is you are intriguing. And everywhere we went, like we went into the elevator, we're going up to a suite, and there's someone that's operating the elevator. I think a lot of people might just overlook that person, and they look down in the elevator. They don't even acknowledge them. They're like a wallflower. And every single person in a situation like that we overlook, you went up and talked to, including the person who was operating the elevator. And you opened up a conversation with that person that gets overlooked probably in life. And then everywhere we went, obviously you're famous, so people recognized you, but no matter who it was, and it doesn't matter what walk of life they are, where they are in life, you were extremely approachable and you talked to everyone. I mean, it was like a Christ-like experience for me to see how you interact with people. It was so amazing.
Dude, that's cool. You never know what people notice, and thanks for saying that. That means a lot.
So I'd love to, before we finish too, you have 3 babies, and it's an incredibly. Maylee's already moved here. She's already. She's a fan of Ben, obviously, and I am too. But it was a powerful. Before the movie, I also saw it on social media. It was millions and millions of views on this thing. But maybe if you wouldn't mind, just walk us through these little babies of yours.
Yeah, yeah. So my wife and I tried for 10 years to have kids. 4 IVF cycles, 2 miscarriages, a little boy and a little girl. Then we went into adoption, and we funded a mother for 8 months, and then she decided to keep her baby, and then we funded another mother for 6 months, and we found out that she was placing with 2 other families at the same time. So like dead end after what we thought was dead end, and instead of feeling that they were dead ends, we chose to see new beginnings. So we went back into adoption, and we got a call, and within a matter of minutes, we had to answer yes or no if we wanted to adopt that child. 15 hours later, we touched down and we adopt this baby. And then we were told, as we went and accepted this baby boy, that there was another girl 20 minutes away that would be 5 days younger. And then 13 months later, we're told that my oldest boy has a full blood brother. So in 13 months, we have 3 babies. And this is exactly why that moment's significant, just like all the other moments in my life. If I would have went victim mentality, the first mom didn't place with us. We visited her. We took her to SeaWorld. We met her numerous times, and then she kept the money and the baby. And if we were to shut down, if we were to stop, if that would have been our dead end and not new beginning, we wouldn't have went into the next adoption. We wouldn't have progressed forward. But isn't it the most incredible thing that our money allowed that first mom to keep her baby, number one. And she couldn't have done it without our money. How cool is that?
Such a powerful mindset.
Number 2, how incredible is it that because everything didn't work out like we had planned, but everything worked out like God planned it, we had 3 kids in 13 months. Like everything is meant to be. When God delivers, he delivers with his arms freaking full. And things are like we couldn't be more happy. We're the most incredible, we have had the most incredible experience, and we just couldn't be more happy to have our kids.
Such a powerful scene, you out on the mat teaching those kids how to wrestle and do a double leg takedown. Right?
Yes. Oh, so cool. Well, they're going to be so cool.
That's the thing.
Like the coolest kids ever.
The coolest.
This is the message for you guys. I know there's not much time, but there's a lot of messages I could share, but this was one of the most powerful messages taught by a guy who has been an inspiration to me. His name's Ed Milet. He gets up on stage and he says one of the most insidious forms of child neglect is parents not living their dreams or reaching their potential. And so all you parents out there, just realize that your default is your kids' highest potential. Our default way of living is our kids' reality and what heroes look like. So however we show up spiritually, however we show up in life, financially, physically, whatever that is, that's our kids' reality. And so when I heard that, I'm like, buckle up, Benny.
I
had to start living bigger, you know?
So powerful.
Oh my gosh. You know, that's interesting. I I talk to a lot of women, right? Self-development. I'm on stages helping women grow and know more and become more. And something that happens often is women have, and I think all parents do, but it's like mom guilt, right? It's like, oh, if I'm away from them, I'm guilty. Yeah. I'm not with my child. I'm supposed to be with them. I'm supposed to be with them. And as an entrepreneur, that's something we all have to struggle with, right? It's like this feeling of like, I should be there, and I have to be at all their games and all the things. And I have to remind them that if they don't take time for themselves, go to the gym, read, right? Self-development, actually put themselves in a better position, do the thing called their shot.
Yes.
Then unfortunately, you're showing them that when they grow up, they only get to be a mom.
Sure.
They only get to stay home. They don't get to live their fullest potential. So you're showing them, you're the example of like what they get to become. And that's the hard part. So I think that's also, like, you nailed it. Like, for all entrepreneurs, for the people that are here, they have to leave with that mentality every day of like, I have to be the example.
Yeah.
They're watching.
They get to be the example. And when we change it from being, because here's the deal, the moms or dads out there, they feel like taking time for them is selfish.
Yes.
But when you change it to being self-mastery, it changes. When it's a master of oneself, that's different. Because we want our kids to do the same. And if we're like, I can't go to the gym, it's going to be time away from my kids, your kids are going to say that. I can't go to the gym. Nah, we're there to show them. Our kids, trust me, I have 3 kids. They listen to probably 10% of what I say.
Right.
Totally.
But they watch 110% of what I do.
100%, yeah.
So why don't we shut our mouths a little bit, and why don't we show them? Self-mastery is, it absolutely dominates what people think is selfish.
I feel like there's what we believe in, immortality after life, but your immortality is your thought. You're a thought leader. And I could see generations down the road still talking about Ben and how you inspired. I mean, you're literally world changing in your inspiration. And it's an honor to call you a friend. And especially to have you here on the stage. We're going to have you jump up there and inspire the people, 300 people here today. And so we really appreciate it. You've inspired us. We're big fans. So it's an absolute honor.
Oh,
God bless you guys. Thanks for letting me come.
Oh, so good. As always, thank you for watching the X Room podcast. Give us a like, ring that bell, follow, give so much love to Ben. Tell us in the comments your favorite takeaways. Watch the movie. Absolutely. See you in the next X Room.